So, you were created by the same guy who made Kiss Exes, huh? Good thing I got this handy! Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today to reluctantly review, or shall I say rant, on the anime Fight Ippatsu Jūden-chan, which in English translates to Fight One-Shot Charger Girls, or Jūden-chan for short. Let's get started. So Jūden-chan follows a girl named Plug, but she's not your average girl, mind you. She's something known as a Charger Girl, which is this being from a parallel universe to ours, responsible for charging people up whenever they're feeling sad, depressed, or empty. And while on the job, she meets Sento, a guy who apparently can see her for some unexplained reason and casually likes to hit her in the face with his golden bat. And from here, there's a shit ton of fan service, a lot of girls pissing themselves, and on occasion, some charging. Now, this lovely anime was graciously sent to me by one of my subscribers by name of Tsukoshi Kaze. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this anime right here is based off of a manga made by the same fucker who made Kiss X Sis. Do I even need to say more? I dreaded having to watch this anime. I was scared out of my freaking mind because I felt like it was just gonna be the same type of experience I had watching Kiss X Sis, and that is an experience that I do not want to relive ever in my lifetime. I just got scared that everything that I did like about Kiss X Sis would be in Jūden-chan. And that's exactly what it is. With a few exceptions here and there, I will say right up front, this is slightly better. Just slightly, not majorly, slightly better than Kiss X Sis. But when you're being compared to one of the worst anime I've ever seen, I mean, that's really not saying much, and I'm not really saying much for this anime. It's not worth seeing, but it is slightly more bearable than Kiss X Sis. And with that said, I guess, let's just jump into the review. Now, believe it or not, I do have some positive things to say about Jūden-chan. The best thing this anime has going for it is its two female leads, Plug and Aresta. Despite their flaws and shortcomings, they're very likable characters. Starting off with Plug, her personality is positive and eccentric. She may not be the best at her job, but she excels at thinking outside the box when it comes to doing the work, and she is very passionate about her work and helping people out. Really, the only negative attributes about Plug personally are the forced fan service scenes that she's in and her constantly pissing herself. If those weren't a part of her character, I could say that she's a great character, but I can't. But to be frank, I personally enjoyed Aresta the most between the two, as her extreme nature on both sides of the spectrum, the hard-ass workaholic and the super kiki freak, were hilarious to watch, especially the latter. And her abusive relationship with Sento, while morally revolting and angering, was still the most captivating relationship in the anime. Which technically isn't saying much, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? Episodes 6, 7, and 8 were the strongest in terms of story, character, and conflict. The story in these episodes was enthralling and engaging. The conflict felt real and actually had some dire consequences to them, and the characters, through their experience, actually grew as characters and started building some inkling of a bond forming with one another. Out of all the characters, Plug shines the most in these episodes, as she is challenged both physically and mentally, and the conflict she deals with is so intense that it actually ends up sending her to the hospital, and we see her going through the process of rehabilitation, trying to get back into the groove of things so that she can go back to work, and the struggle that she deals with going back to work being unable to really function properly. And we see a lot of great growth in her character because of this whole experience. I love that. I wanted more of that. It's almost as if the creators of Jūden-chan purposely went out of their way to hire a competent writer who knew how to tell a cohesive and interesting story, build their characters, and create some interesting and worthwhile conflict to write these episodes. And then they just kicked him to the curb after episode 8. It's like, okay, thank you for helping us with that whole arc, but now we're gonna get back to the menial shit that we were doing earlier. We don't need you anymore. See you later. And honestly, if this train kept going, if the anime kept on this path, it would have been a half-decent, nay, good anime. But as we all know, this would not last. And now we've reached the point of the review you all have been waiting for. The part where I bash the shit out of Jūden-chan. So let's get started. The biggest issue with Jūden-chan was its first 4 episodes. They were a fucking disaster. An awful first impression to the series that embodies all of its problems. The lackluster and unengaging story, the weak and bland characters, the subpar animation, the oversaturation of fan service, the disturbing and disgusting fetishes throughout the anime, such as peeing and goddamn pedophilia, and finally, the blatant misogynistic overtones. I mean, when you have the leading male character constantly assaulting girls in the face with a golden bat, and most of the time unprovoked, people calling the female characters bitches, and the complete objectification of these very same characters, how could you not say that this show is misogynistic? And speaking of misogyny, let's briefly talk about the king of the misogynists, Sento. At the start of this anime, I hated this character's fucking guts. I could not stand him. He was so revolting to me. But by the end, I resented him a bit less, but it still doesn't change the fact that he's an unlikable piece of shit. And what sucks is that he's one of the main characters. Hell, he's the male lead of the anime. And besides his terrible behavior, the anime presents him as someone that we're supposed to root for, someone that we're supposed to like. They actually give him qualities that makes him seem like he's supposed to be a good character. But because of his reprehensible behavior, it's extremely difficult to see him like that. It's extremely difficult to like him or be invested in him. Not to mention that he has a piss poor development. I never bought him as a character. I never liked him as a character. And that's besides his terrible behavior. He's a bland character. And then when you throw in the misogyny, he's an even worse character. Not to mention his non-existent relationships with other characters. And while I am glad that the anime did not do a romantic relationship between him and his sister, they failed to form any sort of relationship between the two. They barely felt like siblings because they barely spent any time with each other to make us convinced that they are siblings and that they deeply care for each other. Hell, I completely forgot that he had a sister in this anime because she is barely in the anime. We don't really get to see much of her, nor do we get to see them connect with each other and bond with each other. It's supposed to be just them two, right? Yet, there are no brother-sister moments. And yes, the overabundance of fan service annoyed the ever-loving shit out of me, always thrusting itself into the foreground and halting the progression of the story. It's the same bullshit that Kiss Exes and plenty of other heavily fan service ecchi anime suffer from. How many times I gotta tell you motherfuckers? Use fan service sparingly. I mean, come on, it's basic fucking economics, guys. The more boobs, tits, and fan service you throw into an anime, the more the value of it depreciates. I mean, real talk, guys. What about the fan service in Jūden-chan separates it from all the other heavy fan service ecchi anime out there? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It does the exact same thing as all the rest. And lastly, the final conflict in the anime was pretty underwhelming, especially after all that buildup that the anime did. They made it seem like this was gonna be a big confrontation, you know, battle of wits, Charger Girls versus this antagonist. But at the end, it just turned out to be the Charger girls doing what they always do. Charge people up. Lame. Overall, I said it best in my review/rant of Kiss X Sis. Take it away, 2014 BCG. This anime just comes off as a fetish anime. An anime that was made to showcase the wanted desires and fantasy of the creator itself. I mean, seriously. I feel like he made this anime, or made even the manga, so that he can just put characters in all these sexualized situations that he himself wishes he could be in. Yup! Couldn't have said it better myself. And I did say it myself. And while it's not as bad as Kiss X Sis, Jūden-chan still suffers from many of the problems that plagued that series and is a painful drag to sit through. And at the end of the day, it's just an easily forgettable anime that you should not waste your time watching. Go watch better anime. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Jūden-chan. I'm sure there are plenty of you out there that thoroughly enjoyed watching this anime. Hell, I recently got into a spat with somebody on Twitter that thoroughly enjoyed this anime, and he wants to debate me on this anime on my channel, and I'm really considering doing it, so that might be coming down the pipe later on. And also, the guy who sent it to me, Sakoshi Kaze, really enjoyed this anime as well. So I would love to know what you guys thought about Jūden-chan. Did you absolutely adore it? This is one of your favorite ecchi animes of all time? Or is it really boring, dull, revolting, disgusting? You hate it as much as I did? And let me know who is the most misogynistic and misanthropic, I think that's the word, character you've ever seen in an anime. Comment below, let me know, and stay tuned. More videos are on their way. A special top 10 list will be coming out on Thursday on somebody else's channel, as well as a special review to coincide with that release. So stay tuned for that. Get excited. It's going to be really good. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not donate to my Patreon account? There's a link in the description. And if you'd like to send me any fan letters, send it to this PO box right up here. And if you'd like to be a part of the Black Critic Crew, not miss out on a single awesome, sexy review, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you what in a second, the guy just hates the person that made this anime as well as Kiss X Sis as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace YouTube, and now to deal with you. Oh, I got some plans for you. I'm gonna do the most vile, disgusting, and horrendous thing to you.
I hate Jūden-chan, alright. Lucky for you, you're out of my face. You're out of my face. I don't want to see you again. I don't again. Say you want a good time. Well, Jūden-chan's not that. Jūden-chan's not that. Don't you watch that fucking show, cause it's terrible. Oh.
Good riddance, Jūden-chan. Go back to hell where you belong. I don't want to see you ever again. You stay away from me. Away from me!